All right, let's dive in. Today, we're talking about an ancient philosophy that feels like it was designed for our chaotic modern world, Stoicism. And look, this isn't going to be some dusty, boring lecture. This is about a practical, real-world guide for taking back control of your own mind. I mean, seriously, have you ever done this? You send a message, and you get back a single thumbs-up emoji. And your brain just short circuits. You spend the next hour trying to decode it, spiraling into a full-on anxiety attack. It sounds completely ridiculous, but we've all been there. And that really gets to the core of this bizarre paradox we're living in, right? We're so good at optimizing our bodies. We'll do ice baths, lift crazy weights, crush a 5 a.m. workout, but then we completely unravel because someone left us on read. We've built these incredibly resilient bodies, but our minds, they've become shockingly fragile. That feeling of being hijacked, it's everywhere. It's not just the thumbs up emoji. It's that vague email from your boss that just says, "Can we talk tomorrow morning?" And boom, your entire night is ruined. We've literally invented a whole new category of suffering based on these tiny digital microdramas. And here's what's so wild. Think about the original Stoics. These guys were dealing with actual war, famine, plagues, political exile. Real life or death problems. Meanwhile, we are living in what is, by almost every metric, the safest and most prosperous time in all of human history. And yet we completely catastrophize over things that are, let's be honest, incredibly low stakes. Okay, so before we get into the practical tools, we have to bust a huge myth. Because when most people hear the word stoic, they picture someone who's totally emotionless, right? Like a stone statue. But that's not just wrong, it's pretty much the exact opposite of what Stoicism is actually about.
So on one hand, you've got the pop culture stoic. This is the person who suppresses every feeling. One of our sources has this amazing line for it: emotional constipation with a philosophy degree. But an actual stoic, they don't aim to feel nothing. They aim to feel on purpose. They're not robots. They're anxious humans, just like the rest of us. They just have a toolkit to deal with it.
And this metaphor is just brilliant. It gets to the core of it all. You see, there's a world of difference between saying, "I feel anxious," and saying, "I am my anxiety." One is just a weather pattern passing through your mind. You can notice it, observe it. The other, that's an identity that completely takes you over. Stoicism is about learning to watch the weather, not letting yourself become the storm.
All right, so let's open up that toolkit. The first and honestly the most powerful tool is something the philosopher Epictetus called the dichotomy of control. And I'm not kidding, if you can truly internalize this one idea, it will change your life.
It sounds so simple, it's almost silly, doesn't it? Some things are up to us and some things are not. But we spend almost all of our time and energy getting this completely backward. We obsess over the outcomes we have zero control over. Did they like me? Will I get the promotion? Why haven't they texted back? The Stoic flip is to take all that wasted energy and focus it only on your inputs, the things that are 100% up to you. So check out this real-world example from one of the authors we're drawing on. After getting his book proposal rejected 13 times, he made this list. In the left column, everything he could actually control: the quality of his research, how clear his writing was, whether he showed up every day. And on the right, everything he couldn't control, whether the editors liked the idea, market trends, their budget, just pure dumb luck. And this is the magic move. He then ceremonially crossed out that entire right-hand column. This is so powerful because it's like a declaration to the universe that says, my job is done. I did my part. The rest of it, it's just noise. It's just weather. Did the rejection still sting? Of course. But the sting lasted a few hours instead of dragging on for months. Okay, so you're focusing on your inputs. Awesome. But, life is still going to happen. Things are still going to go wrong. So that brings us to the next set of tools, which is all about how you handle those inevitable obstacles. Now, this one is going to sound completely backward at first. It's called premeditatio malorum, which is just a fancy way of saying the premeditation of evils. Each morning, you spend just a few minutes imagining a few things that could realistically go wrong that day. Maybe you get stuck in traffic, a client sends a rude email, your Wi-Fi does. And then you plan your response. You're not just worrying for the sake of it. You're basically giving yourself an anxiety vaccine. You're removing the element of surprise, which is often the thing that messes us up the most. And now for the most radical tool in the whole box. The next time something goes wrong, anything, big or small, your first response, the first word out of your mouth, is this one: good. So why would you say good? Well, it's rooted in this incredible idea from Marcus Aurelius called amor fati, a love of fate. The core concept is this: whatever is standing in your way isn't a roadblock, it is the road. Your flight got canceled? Good. Now you have a few unexpected hours to work on that project. Dealing with a difficult person? Good. This is the perfect training ground for your patience. The universe isn't trying to punish you, it's giving you the exact training you need, right when you need it. And if you stop and look back at your own life, you'll probably see this everywhere. That awful job that led you to discover what you really wanted to do. That painful breakup that made space for the right person. The failure that taught you an unforgettable lesson. What felt like an absolute disaster in the moment was actually just the setup for what came next. Amor Fati is just about learning to see that happening in real time. Okay, so this final tool is what makes everything else click into place. Because none of this works if you can't remember that most of your problems are way, way smaller than they feel in the moment. It all comes down to perspective. This right here is a ruthless filter for your emotional energy. Think about being stuck in traffic. It can feel like this massive personal injustice, right? Our source calls it main character syndrome. The moment you feel that rage building, just ask yourself, will this matter in a year, or 5 years, or on my deathbed? If the answer to all of those is no, then you are not allowed to give it more than 5 minutes of your mental space, period. Let's try a quick exercise. Right now, I want you to bring to mind one problem that's been bugging you. Really feel it. See it clearly. Okay, now let's zoom out. Picture yourself and that problem somewhere inside your city with millions of other people and their own problems. Now zoom out even further. See the entire planet just hanging there in the dark, that little pale blue dot. And now zoom all the way out, all the way into the silent, beautiful, impossibly vast cosmos. From out here, can you even see your problem? Of course not. And that's not supposed to be depressing. It's supposed to be liberating. And that really is the main takeaway. Stoicism isn't for people who want to stop feeling things. It's for people who feel too much. It's a toolkit for the anxious, the overthinkers, the catastrophizers. It's not about achieving some kind of empty numbness. It's about building an unbreakable mind by being intentional about where you spend your limited emotional energy. So I'll leave you with this one question to chew on. What is one thing in your life right now that you are trying to white-knuckle and control, even though you know deep down that you can't? Because just identifying that thing, that's the first step to finally letting it go. And that is freedom.